Okay, here's a question for you. Is there a more competitive division in the NHL than the East? I mean, after playing the same teams 8+ times in one season, tensions start to run high. But the way these teams have gone toe-to-toe, you could say the East is the NHL's most entertaining division. The standings tell a pretty clear story of how good these teams are. The Penguins, Capitals, Bruins, and Islanders all finished with over 70 points and 30 wins. But from a pure on-the-ice entertainment perspective, these teams have played some tough hockey, and they don't like each other.
Right off the face-off. 3 fights simultaneously.
Couple of heavy right hands exchanged.
Chara with a longer reach. Nailing Martin with a straight right. 3 of them. 4 of them.
They're going to drop the mitts and go from the outset. The fans are into it.
Matchup number 1, Pens and Isles. Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang versus the Isles. Look, we know New York's deal under Barry Trotz by now. They're stingy. This season, they've allowed the second fewest goals against, behind a stellar Russian duo of Varlamov and Sorokin. But how about this guy? Sid's having an MVP-type year. The Pens were banged up, Malkin missed over 20 games with injury, and all Pittsburgh did was lead the league in goals for and finish atop the toughest division in hockey. So can the Isles stop that train? The Bruins and Caps could make for one of the best opening round matchups of these playoffs. There's bad blood here, no thanks to, you guessed it, Tom Wilson.
Carlo has a head hit by Wilson.
Yeah, that was high.
That was distant, and it was intentional. No penalty at all.
This Boston team isn't afraid to get physical, and they're no strangers to goal scoring either. The Bruins have been one of the hottest teams since the deadline when they acquired Taylor Hall, who finished at nearly a point per game since coming over from Buffalo. Although the Caps have a pretty good goal scorer leading their team too.
Ovechkin fires! He scores! Farewell, Phil! Ovechkin moves past the great Esposito!
The path out of the East will be grueling, and assuming the winner comes out in one piece, we could be looking at a true Stanley Cup contender.
Kenny Reid style hockey. I could give our next guest a Tim and Friends type welcome, but no one could do it better than a man in a bromance.
Oh,
with our
yeah.
next guest,
Well,
Kenny Reid.
if there's one thing the internet has done, it's that showed you that every town has an idiot. And now all the idiots have discovered there's other idiots on the internet, and they all get together and do stupid things on the internet. I'm an idiot. This guy's an idiot. I'm a donkey. He's a donkey. And when we saw each other, I was like, it's a donkey. And he goes, it's a donkey. And the bromance has lived ever since. How you doing, Army?
Oh my goodness, that is an intro for the ages, and you're right. Just a couple donkeys getting all banged up at Crosby's Cup party years ago. Remember that, Kenny? That was a night.
Don't remember it at all, in fact. Look at him. What a pro. What a pro. First off, I think it's really cool that all year long you've been sitting in a chair that looks like a 1-888 lawyer number. Where did you get that chair? Had you expensed it? What's the deal with it?
So this is a chair that's been passed on through my family, guys. It's my grandfather's chair. I swear to God, it's my grandfather's chair. I would say it's just getting started. After he passed, I took old granddad's chair now, and it makes its way to all of Canada to see every Monday and Tuesday night. The odd Wednesday night here and there when I get the call. But yeah, you're right. This is pretty presidential, isn't it?
It's very presidential.
Look at this thing. It swivels.
Look
at this. Watch this.
Watch this.
Watch this, boys.
Oh, look at that. Oh, my
What
God.
a pro. What a pro. What a pro. Hey, Colby, how long do you think something will happen in the Caps-Bruins series? What's the first thing that'll make Jack Edwards lose it? And how long will it take? Are we talking 30-second mark, opening game?
He's guaranteed to lose it, isn't he? Well, you get Frederick and you get Wilson and you get them on the ice together. You know, the series was put together perfectly in that video before I came on, by the way. Big, physical, star power, heated, goal scoring, checking. Kenny, if you're not watching this series, I don't know what's wrong with you. This seems like your type of series, but if it takes a Wilson and a Frederick to get her going, those are the two types of guys. Because that Frederick, man, he licks his chops and he loves, to get in the face of opponents and play that tough physical game. And, one of the few in the league still that really likes to do that for a new up-and-comer. But I expect those two guys to be going head-to-head. But, I mean, like I said, the star power, though, the top line, the perfection line, Taylor Hall, Krejci, you got Zdeno going against his old squad. Obviously, the Caps are built for size and battles along the wall with the way they can play, but also produce. So, what could it come down to if you want to, really break it down? I think it's going to come down to goaltending, boys. And you look at the Bruins goaltenders, pretty solid track records as well from both their guys. Tuukka Rask and what he can do, Halak as well.
Oh, sorry.
What he can do. So. Two good goalies. I think that's what it'll probably come down to. But this is going to be a series, man. This is going to be a great series.
So let me ask you this. Is this the first time in a while we've seen a team that might be bigger and tougher than the Boston Bruins?
Yeah, well, I think they're both built, probably similarly. I look at the Caps team, and I see... we know what they did when they won the Cup a few years ago with their big bodies and the way they can play along the walls. I mean, the emergence also of like a power centerman type of guy in a Lars Eller and some of these other guys that have played and committed to that style of game. It's transformed their team through the depths of their lineup. They do have a fourth line that can bang around as well and just be a menace out there. So, they've got a lot of guys that can play you straight up that way, and they're going to try to take it to the gutter. They're going to try to take it there because they got guys that can thrive in those situations and make plays and score goals in tough, tight games like that. So I think the Caps are a team that I think a lot of teams are looking at in this division anyways, that's kind of got the all-around game. You can take it in the streets or they can take it in the back alley, as Mark Messier would say.
Love it, love it. So, okay, let's talk Pitt and the Islanders. I don't think we talk about Pittsburgh enough, given that they won this division. But how are they going to open things up against an Islanders team that's kind of stumbling into the playoffs? But and I'm saying this with respect because it is the way they play and it has been successful. How does Pittsburgh open it up against an Islanders team that can bore you to death?
Yeah, and guess what? Yeah, we don't talk about some of these teams enough. You're right. And Pittsburgh turned it on the second half of the season. I mean, this is without, you could go through their forward lines. Tandem's been out for a number of games. Evgeny Malkin missed 20-plus games. Crosby's put it through the roof this season and what he's able to do. They added Jeff Carter for added depth. Jared McCann stepped up. They've dealt with some adversity, but this team is firing all cylinders. And I think the biggest difference between this team from last year is their ability to skate. And I think their back end is surprisingly fairly good. I don't think a lot of people thought that they would provide what they did this year with the way they were able to move pucks and skate. I think that will present a pretty big challenge for the Islanders. Let's face it, they prey off of turnovers and quick strike. They prey off of hard forecheck and playing that style of game. And right now with the Pens on D and Matheson and it's CC as well, guys that can skate, jump up in plays, and create and skate out of trouble. It's going to make it tough for the Islanders. Look, I expect close series. I do expect it to be close and frustrating for the Penguins. But when you look at the way they're able to skate, their speed game, and now their depth up front and the way they're able to spread out some scoring, I mean, Sidney Crosby's on another level already. Can Evgeny Malkin be a massive X factor? I think so. I think they're a different team than what we've seen when they swept them a few years ago.